Hey, good morning, folks. I'm Crypto Amaru. That is Crypto Hitman. We are Crypto Paradise. Back with another Friday edition. We're hammering the news of the week. What is coming up? What's been happening? How are these things going to affect the markets? A lot, it is still happening here, even though things are a bit sideways and stagnated. There's always news you can like sort of glom onto and learn to get some alpha from that. So, all right. I know there have been there's some stuff related to CZ we wanted to get into, some stuff related to the Fed. There's some Floki news as well, a big meme that I know Crypto Hitman's been bullish on for years now. Maybe we start with that. What's the latest with Floki and this new meme coin they just launched?
Yeah, so Floki off the lows obviously got hit with everything else, but it's up about 48% off the lows, really outperforming the market after that dump. And people are wondering why. Well, that's because there's a new meme called Simon's Cat that was launched and is doing ridiculous. It has like a 200 million or 250 million market capitalization right now. And the way you can get it is there was a pre-sale. Those pre-sellers already have all their tokens. So you can either go to the market, it's on Binance, KuCoin, MEXC, the list goes on, and you can go buy it, or you can still get some free cat simply by buying and holding Floki. The snapshot date for that airdrop is on 8/29. If you hold Floki on any of the supporting exchanges in your MetaMask wallet, or even if you stake Floki on their website, you will get your pro rata share of 18% of the supply of cat tokens will be given to Floki holders. So I don't know what Simon's cat price is going to do. All I know is this project raised about $5 million, $3 million, launched with support for Binance, KuCoin, MEXC, and the price has gone straight up, and you can simply get free tokens by being a Floki holder. So this is the second or third airdrop that simply supporting Floki, holding Floki has gotten you. You've gotten the token airdrop, you've gotten the NFT airdrop, and now you're getting a cat airdrop that seems like it could be pretty substantial based on these valuations.
Hey, free money. Who doesn't love it? But yeah, one thing that impresses me about the Floki team, honestly, is they're just nonstop. There's always something that they're doing. And maybe it's some of it's going to work better than others. It doesn't matter. They're extremely active. There is not, there is a reason for this. There is a reason why it's sitting at, $1 billion market cap when a few years ago it was nothing. It's the team. They're absolutely beasts. And now, of course, they have support from all the big exchanges and so on. And that's probably why you saw this Simon's Cat do so well so quickly, because it's on all those big sexes. But hey, great deal for existing Floki holders and any new ones that want to get basically a free airdrop of something that's probably going to have some value.
Yeah, the high level alpha on it too is A, I think Floki should be in your portfolio. I think it's going to do well for a large cap, whatever. But B, here's the way it works. You have until the 29th to get Floki to get the free cat airdrop. Normally, leading into these airdrop snapshots, Floki itself will continue to outperform. So if you're a short-term trader, maybe you can buy it and sell it before the airdrop. Also, realize that the cap price probably will drop after that airdrop happens, which will happen on the 29th or 30th, because people are getting the free money. So keep that in mind if you're trying to play this game. You can either be a short-term trader or Floki trying to buy now, catching a little bit of hype leading into the snapshot, or buy Floki here, liking it as a blue chip, get that free cat airdrop, and you can either hold the cat for the mid to long term, but realize in the short term there probably will be a downswing, a drop in cat, as people are going to get those free tokens, sell it for cash, sell it for Floki, Bitcoin, whatever it is. So just keep that in mind. That is what's going to happen. That's what always happens. And we'll see how it all plays out and what the size of the airdrop is here in less than a week.
Yeah, man. Awesome alpha once again from Crypto Paradise. That's why people tune in, right? So super cool stuff with Floki. I know you had talked a little bit before we were chatting. CZ is out of prison now. He's in a halfway house, apparently. But he claims that he's not going to be doing anything in crypto anymore. At least last I read. Perhaps that's changed. I don't really know for fact. But that guy's a monster. That guy's a beast. He can move markets depending on things that he does, decisions that he makes. So what are your thoughts on his release and what it means for the markets?
Yeah, at first yesterday everybody was saying he's out of prison, but they forgot about the halfway house. So he does go to it's a white collar jail essentially for the next month, and then he will be out and free. Now I don't know what the determination by the court. I doubt he can be like, hey, I'm coming back to Binance, but I think CZ will play a role kind of like Elon Musk does. Well, he'll do a lot of vague tweets, reference tweets about various markets, about Binance, about Bitcoin, whatever. Also remember, he's a massive holder. I think he owns, I don't know, don't quote me on the percentage, but it's a huge percentage. I want to say 40 to 60% of all BNB or something insane is what he owns, because he was buying, got equity in, the BNB token with Binance and just was never selling. He's never been a seller of BNB, not once. So he does still directly impact the actions of the market. But I think he becomes more of an Elon Musk, where we'll see microcosms and random pumps as he tweets about the crypto market still. But I don't know if he's going to be directly involved, probably due to court order, and he's already stepped down from Binance. What do you think? Do you think he makes a big comeback, or do you think he kind of like takes this as an opportunity to reset his life, doesn't have to worry about regulatory guidelines anymore, and we already know he's super wealthy with the amount of crypto he holds?
Yeah, I really like your take. I'm quite certain that the court would not allow him to go back to Binance. They may even have restricted him from getting back into crypto professionally for a period of time, regardless of what company that's with. So that, I don't know if he'd get back in a professional capacity anytime soon, but I do agree he will be out there evangelizing crypto, Bitcoin, perhaps even BNB directly, because he believes in this stuff. Right? He's an amazing businessman. We know that, but he really believes in the ethos of crypto, getting crypto to the masses, onboarding the next billion people. That's Binance's whole thing, right? So he's not going to stop doing that. And I do think we'll see some bullish tweets coming out from him. We'll see some good stuff. And who knows, maybe he will form some companies or be an advisor or whatever to some companies down the line. I wouldn't be surprised about that. But I think it's great. I mean, look, he was in prison for 4 months, one of the richest guys in the world. Would you guys take that deal?
Probably.
Probably. So, yeah, cool, pretty cool story, especially when you kind of juxtapose that to what happened with SBF, who's a true scammer.
Right.
They went after CZ for some lame violations of money laundering or whatever.
What's kind of the crazy thing is too is the SEC and the U.S. government dropped charges against, they settled with Binance US, which was part of the reason he went to jail too. So it's like, okay, I go to jail, and then he start dropping different charges related to Binance and our subsidiaries. Pretty crazy how it works.
They pay big fine. I mean, I'm sure they pay
exactly
the big fines and
pay to play.
Yeah, it's a speeding ticket, but CC's a good guy. He's good for the industry overall. I'm excited to see what he does next. I think it's bullish. So all right, what else is what other some other news?
I guess the other topic we wanted to talk was today. This video probably won't be out, but you can kind of hear our prediction. We'll see if it plays out. Is Powell's going to be talking for the Fed? Are they going to be raising rates, lowering rates, making decisions on that? We've seen some job data that we actually lost 800,000 more jobs than the government was telling you, which was a little bit of a lie. How does that affect what Powell's going to do? What's your opinion on how it affects the markets as a whole?
Well, I think the chances of a rate cut in September are basically 100%. They have to cut rates. That labor market revision is one of the many reasons they have to cut rates. By the way, that's a standard thing that happens. So they do the initial analysis. A lot of this stuff it's estimates. They don't know exactly down to every job. I mean, that, it's tough, right? So it's estimates. So the estimate, and then there's always the revision. This was one of the biggest downward revisions we ever had, like a 20% downward revision. And so it's just more evidence, including the fact that last reading of unemployment was higher than expected, 4.3%. They didn't like that. That scared everybody. Market dumped. You guys remember that day. The fact that inflation is coming down. Every reading is down, lower, lower, lower. So they beat inflation. And now the concern is labor markets, and they have no choice but to cut the rates. The other fact that's basically making it a foregone conclusion, they released the Fed minutes, the meeting minutes from the last meeting in July. And basically every Fed commissioner or whatever governor they're called is on record saying, we're going to be cutting rates in September. They already just came out and said. So there's pretty much no question they're going to cut it. Now, what does Powell say today at this Jackson Hole symposium in front of the billionaires and economists and so on? Is he going to be overtly dovish and just say, hey guys, we beat inflation, we're concerned about labor market, we're cutting the rates in September? I doubt he's that direct. The guy's never that direct, right? I think he's sensitive to the fact that what he says can move markets, and he's going to be very, okay, the data, we're going to look at the data, it's going to be data driven, we don't know yet. So he'll say that, but I bet you he drops a couple of kernels of basically, yeah, we're going to cut the rates and we're dovish again. And by the way, it's not going to be the first rate. It's not going to be the first and last rate cut. It's going to be the first of a number of rate cuts, because they got to get the number down to like 4.5%, 4% is what I read their target is going to be. So it's going to be a first of a series of cuts. This is the start of quantitative easing, guys. Money's going to start flowing again. And we all know what that means for risk assets. So don't try to overthink things. I'm in some groups, guys are like, well, what if it's a fake out? Don't overthink shit.
Right.
Like the Fed's going to cut rates. It's going to be good for risk assets. It's all going to be fine, guys.
Yeah, and I was going to say, normally when the Fed cuts rates, historically, that marks a kind of turning point in the stock market to the downward side as far as the cycle. But you just mentioned that also means money supply go up, which is good for risk assets, collectibles, precious metals, which I think Bitcoin and crypto falls into. So if it is marking a top for traditional stocks, low risk stocks, historically, that's what happens. Do you think Bitcoin and crypto still catches a bid? I think you kind of already answered it, but what do you think?
I think so. First of all, it times really nicely with the historic sort of bull market following the halving. I read the other day that in every other instance of the halving, it took about 150 to 160 days of consolidation before Bitcoin starts to really, really pump. And we're at about a day 128 of 150 to 160. So that would lead us to essentially the end of September for when Bitcoin historically starts to pump post halving. That times perfectly with the interest rate cut, which would have come in mid-September. So I think everything is lining up great. I don't know. I think risk assets are gonna do great in this regime of easy money that's coming. I also read that China is about to do stimulus as well, 420 billion allegedly going into that economy from their central bank. So easy money.
And that timing could line up good with the rumors of China unbanning Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. So if they unban crypto at the same time they're injecting their economy with $500 billion, some of that probably finds its way into crypto.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know about the unbanning thing. I've heard rumors of that. I don't know if that's who's reported that or where that's been substantiated or whatever. China government, Communist Party there does what they want to do. But yeah, they could very easily do that or not. I think either way, things are going to be fine, and we're gonna be right where we were historically, say in a month or two from now. September and October, I think things are gonna be looking real good.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. Just the historical data for Bitcoin. And then you got, Bitcoin ETF inflows continuing. I think it's 6 days of positive inflows again. So, institutions are continuing to expand their interest into Bitcoin. They're buying it up. Michael Saylor's trying to do another raise. They're buying it up. The Japanese ETF continues to buy it. There's Japanese companies that are buying like 1 Bitcoin a day. El Salvador is still buying their Bitcoin. So, I mean, over time, the reason you're in Bitcoin is because there is a finite supply with predictable inflation. And if people continue to DCA, which now we have countries DCAing, over time, it's inevitable the price will go higher. It's really as simple as that, guys. This is like Econ 101 right before your eyes with Bitcoin. I know it's not exciting right now, but sometimes it is scary when you start seeing red bars, but you'll be kicking yourself just like you were when Bitcoin was 16,000. You're probably like, oh, I should probably buy this. And now we're sitting here at 60 and you're having that same feeling. I think history will repeat itself when, we go up to 80, 90, 100,000. Like, why didn't I buy at 60? I had 10 paychecks to be able to dollar cost average into more Bitcoin or Ethereum, and I just refuse to do so.
Well, people like to buy the pumps. We all know that. But hopefully you guys watch this show to get a little bit smarter, do a little bit better, learn every day. There's one final piece of news. You guys know we love to talk politics on this show. It looks like RFK Jr. is about to drop out and endorse Trump and perhaps join his cabinet or join his administration in some form. That probably definitely gives Trump a bump up from where he is now in the polls. I view this race as still extremely tight regardless. I think it's anyone's to win or lose. But on the other side, I didn't read too far into this, but I saw a quick blurb that basically the Dems, Kamala, are saying something positive about Bitcoin and crypto again. I didn't read it too much into it, and I know you're skeptical if they're really serious about that. But hey, I'll take it if both parties are pro.
Yeah, I think I'm very skeptical of Kamala and Democrat when it comes to crypto, but at least if they're paying the lip service, it's not a negative, right? Now, with the RFK potentially announcing joining Trump, I think that gives Trump a boost. They really had two options. If RFK stays in the race, they need 5% of the vote. 5% of the vote, and then that means that their third party would become a legalized third party in America for the next election cycle, and maybe that would actually have a chance. Or he says he doesn't believe in Kamala and Waltz for the future of America, so you can drop out, you can support Trump, try to get on the administration and impact it that way. And they believe that a larger base of their voters would be voting for Trump over Kamala, which gives Trump a little bit of an edge. Also, we know RFK Jr. and Trump were both at the Bitcoin conference, both supremely bullish on Bitcoin and crypto. So it would be nice that support going to Trump. Maybe that gives them a better chance to win. And those two are two people that I think aren't just paying lip service to Bitcoin, will actually support, invest in Bitcoin and the crypto ecosystem, and really the regulation for crypto for this next bull cycle. If we have huge regulatory clarity from Trump and RFK Jr. administration, I think the bull market could be absolutely massive. You're going to see tons of opportunities. Will there still be scams and rugs? Of course. But now you have regulatory clarity and support from the U.S. government, which means that this thing can start flying up and to the right.
Yeah, well, obviously we're on record saying Trump administration is much better for Bitcoin and crypto than a Harris administration. I don't view a Harris administration, however, as Bitcoin and crypto are over. I'm hearing some people say, "Oh, she wins, it's going to zero." I was like, "It's not going to
I
zero,
don't think
man."
it goes. Yeah,
It's
I don't think it'll
probably
go to zero.
20%,
Yeah,
or perhaps more in the price of Bitcoin, depending on who wins or loses, right? So it's meaningful, but it's not this doomsday. Oh, it's going to. I saw some guy in the chat. Oh, it's the world's going to explode. I don't buy into that doomsday stuff, but it's make a meaningful difference, and I think people watching this should understand that.
Yeah, I think in the short term it probably has more meaningful impact, because if they're just paying lip service, you probably get, if she wins, I guarantee we'll be watching on election day. We'll be watching the states turn red or blue, and if she wins, you're going to see a red bar out of Bitcoin. You just are.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
short-term price action. That's speculation, and that's traders. Over the long term, it's probably a meaningful difference if Trump is in there. But I think their administration would be much more of just what we've seen the past 3.5 years, where Bitcoin and crypto still has their ups and downs. There's still opportunities. Just a little less regulatory clarity slows down the injection of capital. But the SEC's already approved the Bitcoin spot ETF, already approved the Ethereum spot ETF. So the train is already in motion. It's just about how fast can that train get up to top speed. Faster under Trump, slower under Kamala. I still think, the historical cycle continues. It probably just gets, slowed down a little bit with Kamala Harris versus Trump and RFK Jr. It probably really starts ripping and getting ahead of the curve compared to the historical performance.
Yeah, I really like that take. That's a level-headed take. It's an honest take. It's a realistic take. That's why you guys come here, folks, for those real bits of news and analysis. Of course, never financial advice. But all right, man. Great stuff. I know we got to get back to work here, but until then, folks, we'll see you all on the beach.